Hello, friends. So, I have been living in Wuhan since 2017 with a break during the pandemic. And right now, I'm back in England visiting my family. And the other day, I had a lot of time in the salon getting my hair done and people watching. And every time I come home, I notice a little cultural differences that I completely forget about when I'm in China. They're not better or worse, I would say just different. So here are some things that I want to share that kind of stand out to me. A quick disclaimer before we start. These are just my own personal observations, experiences, and thoughts. They are not facts. Every city, every country, every person is different. But I would love to hear your thoughts, whether you think the same or did you notice anything different? Number one, greetings. So the first thing that I notice when I come back is that I do find people in the UK to be a little bit more affectionate in terms of greeting their friends and family. When you see friends meeting up or family meeting up, they tend to hug each other or give each other kisses or do the man thing with the hands and stuff. There's always something, whether you're a male or female. Of course, it's not everybody. After spending some time in China, I noticed that there's less physical greetings outside of close friendships and close relationships. So that kind of caught me off guard, but in a nice way. Here, whenever we see friends, we hug, we kiss. When we say goodbye, we hug again, and it's just normal. That's how it works. So even at home, when I do come home, when I came last week, my dad gave me a front hug, and culturally he likes to place his hand on my head, and then he also gives me a kiss on my forehead, and that's also a sign of respect and fatherly love in my culture. Also, my mom, she hugs me and she does a lot of kisses. I don't know how many kisses she gave me, 4, 6, I have no idea. But usually in my own personal culture, my friends and family members, they tend to kiss each other on the cheeks, maybe 3 to 4 times. I never know how many kisses I'm getting. It's really confusing. But I do quite like the hugs and kisses part. In China, I tend not to really kiss people as much. Maybe 1 or 2 friends who are from similar culture as mine. They might greet me that way. But otherwise, my usual greeting is always hugging people. Small talk. I do feel like British people will chat anywhere to anyone, whether you are at the supermarket or in the shopping or walking your dog or at the bus stop, train station, coffee shop, waiting for a train, even talking about the weather. It's never ending, the weather part. They will just talk to someone they don't know, they've never met before, and I do like it. Sometimes I do just want to be quiet. Example, in the taxi, sometimes when I get in the taxi and they have so many questions and I'm like, oh my god, I'm not in the mood to talk. That doesn't happen in China because I do know some DD drivers do try to ask some questions. They're just very curious, but compared to here, not as much. The taxi drivers are even very chatty. So there's ups and downs to this, but I do quite like it. It just feels very familiar. As soon as I landed in Manchester Airport, there's someone cracking jokes with me, someone I don't know, and there's sarcasm and everything, and it just feels like home. As in China, I personally have not experienced that much. Sometimes I do have some women or girls come up to me to talk to me, or they just want to compliment me, or they're just curious and they ask me questions. But yeah, pretty much it. Sorries and thank yous. Oh my goodness. You think it's such a cliche or it's just a myth. It really is not. Whenever I come home, I'm reminded of how many times people actually say, sorry, thank you, sorry. Someone accidentally bumps into you, you're sorry. You bump into them, you are sorry. Someone opening the door open for you, thank you. They move out slightly out of your way, thank you. Just small big things. A lot of thank yous. Please, maybe not as much, but thank yous and sorries, there's a lot of them. And it's just really nice, but sometimes it can be a little bit negative because I do see how sweet and nice everyone is, and they're like so polite because that's just the culture here. Not everyone is, by the way. You will meet some really rude people too, but majority of the time people are friendly, they are polite. And after being away for so long, I just noticed that a lot more. But in terms of the negativity I was speaking about, I think maybe sometimes they're very polite and everything. For example, on the plane back, there was a British couple sitting next to me. And of course, they were so polite to the flight attendant and everything, even if they did not feel that way. For example, she was a vegetarian, but she did not order her vegetarian meal beforehand. And she just kept apologizing on, yes, please. Oh, would you mind? No, it's fine. I'll be fine. Actually, I already had dinner. It's fine. So things like that. But then as soon as they go away, they start talking. That happens in every culture though. So I don't know. This is from Cafe Nero. I love it. So nice. Art number 4, I think. So number 4, I would say diversity. This is something that stands out to me as soon as I land at Manchester Airport. Just walking through the airport, walking through the town centre, hearing different languages, people from different backgrounds. It's just a lot of different cultures mixed together, and it feels so different. And of course, it feels very nice at the same time. I like it. I really do like it. I love the fact we can just be humans sometimes and just get on, and it just brings people closer together. Being in Wuhan means that it is a central city, and of course it's big, but it's not as big as some international cities like Shanghai and Beijing and Guangzhou, etc., where you will see a lot more diversity. But I chose Wuhan myself years ago, and I love living here, and it's nice. There's so many different ethnic groups, different people, different dialects, different tones. I'm always learning something new about the locals and non-locals here, so I still find it very fascinating. 5, the use of mobility scooters by older people. I noticed that in England, it's so common to see a lot of elderly people. Some people that actually I personally don't think look or seem that old, and I could be so wrong for this. They tend to rely on mobility scooters and use them quite often and quite a lot. Compared to China, it's extremely rare when I see someone on a mobility scooter, because in China, I do personally think the lifestyle is much more active. We see a lot of older generation playing games, doing exercises, walking. They're very fit. Not everybody, of course, but from the looks of what I've seen, they are very fit and healthy. And they're used to walking and cycling or taking public transport sometimes, or other form of mobility. And I think that really does help, of course. And perhaps some things are influenced by the cities. China is built so convenient. The systems that they have in place, including transport and accessibility as well. Whereas in England, we still actually have a long way to go with certain things. And I would say that, yes, there are some active, healthy people here too. However, if I had to choose, we shouldn't really choose. I would choose China for sure. 6, face-to-face conversations and communication. So this one does surprise me a lot, and in a very good way too, actually. The other day when I was at the salon getting my hair done, and I had a beautiful view of people walking across the town centre, and I couldn't help but notice that there were a lot of people, friends and family out together, and they spent a lot of time chatting to each other, making eye contact instead of looking at their phones or just scrolling. Not to say that people in the UK don't scroll, because everyone doom scrolls, including me. But I've noticed in the UK, I see people do it more when they are traveling, maybe on the bus, maybe on the train sometimes, or in their own private settings at home rather than out and about in public, because it can be a bit rude if you're with your friends or family members and you're on your phone. So I really love seeing this a lot. Whereas in Wuhan, I personally noticed phones are often more present in social settings like restaurants and just a lot of places. Of course, it's not everyone, but it was a huge difference that stood out to me when I came back. I think we could all do with social media detox every now and then. I think it's the whole world right now. So, then opening up. So, conversations. I keep forgetting how easily the Brits tend to share or overshare sometimes. People are very quick to open up here. Of course, not everybody, but majority of the time, yes. After chatting just for a few minutes, someone might tell you about their family, their weekend plans, their holidays. I was in the queue at the shop and someone's like, I'm going here for my holiday, I'm going with my mom and this and that. And your hairdresser's also very chatty. What are your plans for tonight? What are you doing this weekend? And a bunch of things. It's easy to share or overshare here, and I don't think many people think much of it at all. In my experience in Wuhan, I do think people tend to be more reserved. However, I do know that they do open up a bit more about themselves personally once you've developed some kind of personal friendship with them. Again, neither is better. It just reflects the different communication styles between different cultures. Those are a few of the cultural differences I've noticed after living in Wuhan for quite a time and visiting the UK currently. What have I missed? And if you've lived both in the UK and China, do you agree? What's your take on this? And would you like to see part 2? Let me know. I love iced coffee in the summer.